Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau, Samantha Perry with you as we kick off another three-day race week here in Hollandale Beach on a beautiful day so far. 8 races for you on tap, and the big news, of course, is $250,000 in that Rainbow Six.
I was going to say the big news is you're back.
Oh, well, I don't know how big news that is. I am back. I wasn't gone for that long, but
Felt like a century.
Like a century?
Yeah.
Oh, they missed me. That's good. So there it is, $250,000 in race 3. And as we always like to say on these 8 race cars, the horizontals are in play basically each and every race, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we'll get to it in the opener. Kicks off that early pick 5. Not a lot of scratches on the card. I think the last race might have gotten blown up a little bit with a huge scratch, but early on in the card, not a lot going on. We'll take a look at my pick 5, which is completely intact for $27. You see a big favorite here in Lost City. We'll get to the opener in a second. In race number 2, the 2-year-olds are in the spotlight. The Steam Horse, maybe Reminder, the 5 for Jose D'Angelo, have that one on top. In race number 3, we've got the gang is back with Hard to Fathom, Truth and Honesty, and Kinnison, but Hard to Fathom on top for me. The 6 horse in race number 4 will go to the 3 Organist, another Jose D'Angelo. He's set up to have a day in here. And then my best bet of the day is in race 5. That is the 4 Straight Shot with Lionel Reyes. That is a $27 early pick 5 ticket. And we'll take a look at the opener right now. 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta, 12-5 maiden claimers, 3 and up. And a clean race, no scratches. Heavy favorite right now to the 4 Lost City. And that's where you land, Saffie Joseph Jr. adding blinkers.
Yeah, and I just felt like this is a horse that kind of was supposed to win last time and didn't. Gets the blinkers on, just sharpen him up. He kind of just hung a little bit in the late stages of that race. Yeah, so I'm thinking that will help in the 5.5. Just getting that extra half furlong.
I agree. I mean, it was his first start off the claim, off a little bit of a break as well, so it was good to see him run as good as he did. You know, he claimed him for 35. He was in for 12.5. It is what it is. He's a short price. He's a deserving short price. I just didn't kind of trust him, like the race, because, you know, you kind of said it. I thought he was supposed to win, and he couldn't see it out. Nyquist Nix is going to be a price for me, 6 on the morning line. We're supposed to get every bit of that. Yeah. I like the race 2 back. It was off an extended layoff, and he ran pretty well. I don't think he wants to route. Now he's back. Bobby's Candy was good that day. Yeah. I'm just throwing something at the wall here.
And Love Spell on Saturday in the nightcap won by the length of the stretch. I don't know if you got to see the replay of that.
I am up to date.
Oh, so you saw it.
I did see it.
Yeah, that was very impressive. Now, that's a completely different situation. That was 1 mile on the main track, but still, Joe Orsino can be sneaky.
Yeah. And he's got his main man, Edgar Perez, here as well. So there's reasons to think Nyquist Nix improves. But with that being said, they're all looking up at the 4 Lost City. We'll kick off the early pick 4 in race number 2. The 2-year-olds will sprint 5.5 on the Tapeta. Pretty good race as well. We scratched it to Impromptude, and Samantha's got an early pick 4 ticket.
I do, and this is a solid race to kick it off. But the 5 Reminder seems like the colt to beat in this spot. Race number 3, the 3 on top from Immediate Sensation, a horse that's been so consistent but hasn't been able to seal the deal. Race number 4, the 1, Cool Memory on top for me for Saffie Joseph and Edgar Zayas. And in race number 5, the 6, for me on top, that's Lunar Rocket. Hector Diaz Jr. rides. $18 is the play for me, and I like this race to kick it off, Brian.
You know what? Maybe. I thought Reminder would be a strong favorite. He probably will be, but they will bet full Nelson. But let's talk about Reminder first. Both of our top pick in here. An exciting firster for Jose D'Angelo. Lionel Reyes is here as well. And you've got, what have you got, a breeze work to show?
Yeah, this is from the OBS April sale where he sold for $185,000. And this was a solid breeze. Breeze 10-1, but he's just so athletic. And it kind of took him a while to get his stride, but once he levels off, it's nice. And it's almost like just now is when he starts breezing. There's nobody in this race that looks like they could hold a candle to him, and word on the street is on the Tapeta. He really likes it. Yep.
Yeah. It's all right there in front of you. And I think the other reason he's going to be tough is because I've got full Nelson in 3rd. You've got him further down. We need to talk about him, though. He was 8-5 on debut. His debut was not much. And now he's on Tapeta. I don't know. He's a homebred as well. So he was a horse I was willing to fade in here, and they probably will bet him some at least.
Yeah, they will, just due to the connections. But my comment after this race was seems slow.
Okay. Well, he ran slow.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, it was, the winner was okay that day. It was a relatively fast race for the level, but I thought he had a good trip too, and he just did not show a lot. Jigsaw with the big angle, your favorite angle in all the world, first time gelding.
Yeah.
And, if Reminder isn't ready, Jigsaw might have his day.
Yeah, he really could. And he hasn't done anything wrong in his first 2 starts. He's ran well, but he just might have other things on his mind. And I like the spacing now between the gelding and bringing him back for this race. He's worked back 3 different times since that, and hey, I'm excited for him today.
No, I agree. I mean, he has run well, and we're not dissuading him at all. And if Reminder needs a start, or maybe he's a first or it doesn't break or whatever, Jigsaw's going to have a big chance. Well, let's take a break. We've got 2 down. That means we've got 6 to go on the 8-race Friday card. When we come back, Rainbow 6-time, $250,000 in the gross jackpot guarantee.
And they're off.
My Racehorse has opened up a door for people that felt like that door would have never been opened for them.
We can all be owners and we can all get that excitement.
You can meet your horse through the different experiences and all of the events that My Racehorse puts together. You get that hands-on connection.
Whether you have $50 or $500, everyone that joins My Racehorse gets that experience of a lifetime.
I love My Racehorse. Let's go.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian and Samantha with you. 2 down, 6 to go. It's Rainbow 6-time, and a big pool is looming with $250 in the gross jackpot guarantee. Did you hit it while I was gone? Did you give out a winner?
No,
That's a
I
no?
didn't. I think you knew the answer to that, but
I
you
didn't
just
know the
wanted to
answer.
do it anyway. But
I
you're
wouldn't
back
throw
on
you
the
under the
duties.
bus.
You've got it now. I'm going to pass the torch.
I'm going to tell you what, I doubled this ticket because there is a big scratch in the last. I don't know if it's a sweeper kind of card today. Tomorrow
You're on it.
is a sweeper kind of card. When I sent my ticket in, it was $113. I'm hoping for a scratch or two, but let's take a look at it here. 3 deep in race 3. In race 4, we've got Organist on top. There's the best bet, straight shot. Here's the deep spread in race 6, and it's got my long shot as well. The 1 Chrome Ghost at 20 on the line, and he should be a decent price in there. I don't know if he'll be that high, but he will be double digits to be sure. In race number 7, I've got Vibella on the drop, and then in race number 8, I think we probably all lost AJ's memory on top, so I'll go 53 with Sharp Pippa for Jose D'Angelo's. I'm hoping he has a day.
Yeah.
Got him on top at least 3 times, so there it is, $54. Again, the last race, I think, clouds things a little bit, but if you're playing, it probably potentially adds a lot of spice to the ticket as well, because that horse, I was talking myself into a corner there, which you got a kick out of. So let's take a look at race 3 here. We're routing a mile and an eighth. We don't see a mile and an eighth too much on the Tapeta 3 or 4 and up, which have never won 2. The tag is 20. Let's just roll the replay, and then we'll get into the race, because it's got Hard to Fathom, Truth and Honesty, and Kinnison, and they're all in here. Here's Hard to Fathom. He's kind of got forced into making first run, and he had no problem doing it whatsoever. And I think the key to me here is this was his 2nd career win, and now he's facing a group of one-fers. And he did it the hard way. You saw him making first run here. He was on the hard chase. Racket backed up. And to his credit, Hard to Fathom saw it out. I think he probably got forced. His hand was forced a little bit. Lionel just kind of had to go here. And he guts it out, and he runs away from all these horses. So what I took out of it was twofold. He's just better than Truth and Honesty and Kinnison. I know you didn't pick him because he won last time, but he's the horse to beat in here.
He is. He really is. And you can't take anything away from him because he has won his last 2 of 3 starts, and he's a solid horse that extra little bit of distance I kind of wonder about with him.
Right.
To me, looking at, like, when you watch that replay, Truth and Honesty looks like a horse that should love a mile and an eighth because he's just very even.
Yeah, he's a galloper.
Yeah.
Hard to fathom, goes off the claim for Bobby DeBona, and he is 25% off the claim. He's as good as anybody off the claim. Just ask him; he'll tell you.
Yeah.
He will. But Bobby is going great guns, so I'm not going to try to beat this horse. But you are. Media sensation. I've got him in my mix as well for Antonio. I don't like the one fur, but he has run very well of late.
He has, and he's been no worse than fourth in his last 9 starts. So I don't like to toss out a horse like that. He won his starts 2 back. Now, granted, that was his maiden win. What are you going to get here? But I think these are a group that we'll kind of see just cycle back again and again, and this is a horse that might be on the upward swing.
Well, to his credit, too, he beat. That was his first start against winners last time, and he ran very, very well. Antonio's been doing well, and when he gets them good, they tend to stay good. So I don't have any problem with this horse at all, and he was firmly on my ticket. And the 5, Truth and Honesty, as you said, you could talk about it a little more. He's a son of the Big Beast, who I don't believe the Big Beast ever ran 2 turns, and if he did, he certainly didn't make a dent. He was a 7-furlong horse through and through.
Which is funny because his offspring looked like they could run 3 miles and win the race, and that was just a good replay to show just his very even running style, like you said, Brian, just a big galloper.
Yeah.
Maybe he just by attrition will win.
Kind of a one-pace sort, and that can play on these 9-furlong races. We'll take a look at race 4 now. We go a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta, $35,000 maiden claimers. Just the 3-year-olds here going at it. 7 of them are entered, and Samantha's on the late pick 5 ticket. We'll take a look at it now.
Yeah, I am, and again, I had to rework this a little bit as well, but I still was able to single in the last race 4 here, the 1 on top for me, but I think there's some other runners that could be interesting. Race number 5, the 6 on top, that is Lunar Rocket with Hector Diaz aboard, and in race number 6, the 5 on top for me, Mighty Miracle. This horse is coming out of a very, very good race. Race 7 on top, that is Vi Bella. I think that there's a ton of speed in this race, and she could maybe sit a good trip. And in race 8, I could have taken the whole field here. I'm just going to seal the deal with Sophia Loren. I like the way she's drawn here, and with the scratch of AJ's memory. We'll see.
Yeah, it's a race where you probably could use one or you're going to have to use them all,
Yeah.
and I don't disagree with that because the scratch really opens it up, and you could make a case for all of them in there, and it's just not in the budget to do that. Let's get back here now to race number 4. Pretty solid group for the level at least, and you're down in the inside to Cool Memory, who, if nothing else, was asked to do quite a bit. Routing 2 turns on debut is not easy.
No, not at all. And even though this is a horse that looked like he handled the surface just fine, that's still just a big ask for him when they're debuting. He's got that fitness under his belt. Edgar Zayas is back aboard. That's Sappy Joseph's main rider here. The 1 post, I don't mind it too much with these 2 turns, but
No, you can save ground down there.
yeah, but he'll have to. And only thing about him is he wasn't really bet that much on debut.
Very odd in a 7-horse field to see a Safi firster up there at 6-1. He earned it last time too because he never got a breather.
No.
At all. I think in the perfect world, somebody runs off a little bit and Edgar can maybe stalk. I don't know if he wants to see it out on the front end. Organist on top for me. I mean, you see it for Jose. It's a drop here. He was a good enough second last time. The price is going to be a lot shorter than the 7-1, but, he's a major player here.
He is, and this is a horse that the race that was won, Dear Dad, was a Mark Cassie trainee who was super impressive that day.
That was a rainbow sweeper, I think, right?
Yeah, I think, And, you're right, it was. And that was just a solid race to come out of, so we'll have to see if he can play with these guys today.
Immense faith, the chances are adding up. He was behind Organist last time, but he does get a switch to Lionel today. That's a big deal.
It's a huge deal and a little bit of class relief, but again, like you said, he was already facing Organist at this level, so read into that what you will, but I think that the rider switch will be very advantageous.
It is, and Lionel knows this horse. He rode him 2 back, so the fact that he gets back on says, you know what, maybe give him a second look, and Samantha's got him up there in second, late pick 4 time. I want to show this ticket, guys, because I'm kind of doing a little bit away from my rainbow. In the last race, I did go 4 deep. It's kind of like what Samantha said, you can use one or you can spread, and then this was a little more affordable to spread, so I went 4 deep in that last race. We'll get to it in a second here. But we'll kick it off with my best bet here in race number 5. We're sprinting 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. 3-year-olds or 4 and up, which have never won 3 races. Let's bring up the replay. Straight Shot and Lunar Rocket ran against each other. Last start, 2 starts back for Lunar Rocket, last start. So here's Straight Shot. He's doing all the dirty work. He's in between horses here, and this is not an ideal trip this day, but he's going to end up running okay in this spot. And this was back on June 4th, so it was his last start on Tapeta, both of their last sprints on Tapeta. He runs very, very well in here. He's down inside during the stretch run, too. And, I know the winner. You had this winner, actually, Bob. I remember you had a win bet on this horse.
I did. You're right. Oh, my gosh. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, you had a $10 win bet.
I did. Somebody had a $2
on
one.
that horse. Somebody else had a $2 win bet on that horse. I thought that was a good effort by Straight Shot, and I hope that he doesn't have to work as hard today in a pace sandwich.
Yeah, and I see what you're saying with that race, and that's why I went to the 6 there. But I thought the 6 had to work a little bit harder, and Hector Diaz gets aboard today.
Yeah.
Which I think
you
is
like him, right?
Yeah, very, very solid rider. I think this is a good shot for him today.
Yeah, he's in a good spot, too,
Yeah.
as well. I've got him a little further down. I feel like Straight Shot's going hopefully won't have to run as hard early on.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Lunar Rocket, you saw it there. He did run okay when he was out finally. From there, we're kind of all over the place. I've got the 7, Eternal Flame. I mean, that run 2 back was a good win, and then he kind of proved your theory that you can't double up on the Tapeta.
Yeah, and boy, this is the horse I'm thinking of for Bobby DeBona that just won again. Fly the W.
Yeah, Fly the W.
What is he, 4 wins now on the
he was
Tapeta?
good.
Yeah, blows that right out of the water. But Eternal Flame, you can't ignore Jose D'Angelo and Edwin Gonzalez here.
The North remembers there's a reason we have him in 3rd. I just don't see how he gets there.
Yeah, but if they burn it up on
Yeah.
the front end, he's got some speed to his inside with Toretto. Maybe he sits that nice trip.
I mean, to his credit, he was necked out at 5 last time, and
Yeah.
he gets an extra half furlong. But when you employ a running style that has to pass every horse, that is
tough.
not going to win races sprinting on the Tapeta. Race 6 is a tricky one. It's a good one, too. It's a maiden optional claimer, 3 and up. The Florida Breds don't have to be in for the 40, 5.5 on the Tapeta. No surprise you don't have my pick in there. I don't have your pick in there, actually, either. So talk about Mighty Miracle.
Wow.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
This is. So Mighty Miracle is making his first start on the Tapeta track. That race that he's coming out of where Second ID won, that horse came back last
good.
week, and won very impressively. And that was already a nice race because Maptitude, the 3rd place finisher, came back to win right after that. And I think this horse is set up perfect for this so long as he can handle the Tapeta. But you look at his works, 3 works back, he breezed impressively on the Tapeta, 47 and 1. So I would like to say that he likes that type of surface.
Yeah.
We'll have to see here today, but what is he on the line?
He's
here?
15. Is he your long shot?
He is.
Okay, so he's,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a surprise. We both have long shots in this
Yeah,
race. And
it's
mine,
that kind of race.
It's that kind of race, yeah. And to flatter your horse a little bit more, he was dueling inside Second ID last
that's
time.
tough,
So that's
yeah.
very, very tough. We'll bring up the replay of my long shot, the 1 Chrome Ghost, who was in very, very tight into and around the first turn, and he predictably is going to just, pay the consequences. You're going to see him here. He's going to get really tightened up on. He does not want to be in this spot, and he's just not having it at all. And, Miguel Vasquez, there's really nothing he can do here. He gets sandwiched a little bit by the outside runner, and then what happens is I think Chrome Ghost just said, you know what, the heck with this. Here's daylight. I'm getting away from this situation. And the bottom line is that's just not going to work out well.
No.
So now he's back today at a big number. I don't know if he's going to be 20, but he's going to be a price, so we don't have to worry about that. Listen, he's a stab. Samantha's pick is a stab too, but we're allowed to stab
Exactly.
in this race because, let's talk about the favorites. I mean, yikes, Mr. Rhodium's 9-5 in here. I mean, maybe he is. I don't know. I want nothing to do with him.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that 8-9 go race.
Not at all.
Nobody out of it has impressed me at all.
No, and I needed 8-9 go big time, 2 back, and then all of a sudden last time he blasts the field. I don't like that race. I'm with you. He's 0 for 10 with 6 underneath finishes. Maybe he will be 9 to 5, but that's the underlay of the month to me. I got Rigel in second, a maiden special weight dropper with upside, where Marat's on call. I don't, the 5.5 is going to be sharp for this horse. So.
It will, and I think that they're just kind of trying something with him here. Maybe it'll work out. I guess they'll find out here at about 3:10.
Chaina ran well last time, being asked to route. Kent Sweezy never, ever wins on debut.
Yep.
That debut sprinting was not a bad effort. He's a player in here, too.
Actually.
You're right.
She's
Whoa,
the
look at
lone
that.
filly,
Oh,
yeah. And she's carrying less weight than everybody else in this spot, and that's a big advantage. 114 on the field, and some of these now the Bug Rider with the 8 Las Olas is carrying the same amount of weight, but she's interesting, and when they're this age, I don't mind a filly, especially a Gervin, who they've just proven to be 2 and 3 years old, very precocious. It wouldn't surprise me.
You say it all the time. You got to run where the races are, and Kent's a sharp guy, and he's not putting horses in where they can't compete. I've got her in 5th, but she's on my ticket.
Yeah.
So that's, I'm 5 deep in here. It's that kind of race. Late double in the 7th, and we're going 5.5 again on the Tapeta. This is a good one. Starter optional claimer here for the fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Let's start it with the replay of Drum Roll and Fortuna Bell in here. They ran 2-3 last time. Fortuna Bell's doing it all on the front end, going 21 and 4 as well. Drum Roll, to me, set the much, much better trip, but you're going to watch this play out. She was never going by.
No, and when you kind of start to do that in the last 2 races she's done that can be a little bit concerning because she's just supposed to go right on by.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
And, it's another reason. And Lily Bear, she was 4 to 5. She had to work mighty, mighty hard. This is a big run from Fortuna Bell. And to me, if there's a horse I want out of there, it's her. But I don't know. I don't know if I want anybody out of there. And I guess you're picking up what I'm putting down. I don't know if people are going to pick up on it because I know she was in just against 3-year-olds, 2 back. I don't care. This is a drop for Vibella.
It's a huge one, and she's really been kept to task with the Antonio Sano barn, and you don't see him kind of give horses a break like this. He gave her one. She's drawn, and she's drawn perfect for her running style here today. There's so much speed. She picks up ground late, go as fast as they can on the front end for us because this is solid for her.
I think she's in a good spot. Antonio is a 12, 13% kind of guy, and you look at him with Edgar Zayas, he's over 20%. That's a big deal. And when he reaches for Edgard and he rides him, it's go time.
It's live,
and you better pay attention. I think she's in a really good spot today, and like you said too, the more speed the better for her. She's going to be coming on late, and notice too, she's been going 5.
Exactly.
She gets a little extra ground to work with today, and I think that'll be very, very significant for her. So the nightcap is one of the few races on the entire card where I feel like the scratches made a big deal.
Yeah.
We had 8 of them going. Now we're going to be down to 6. AJ's Memory, the 1, is the big one that's out. The 4 Sprint Breaker is out too. She was 7 to 5 on the morning line. She was every bit of that. So now this 7 furlong 12-5 maiden claimer, I feel like, at least for the betting public, it's a fun race now because I don't think it was that fun a race. You had her on top, right?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
She looked like she would lap the field.
Absolutely. So now, Sophia Loren is your single in the late 5. She does seem to be moving in the right direction, figure-wise at least.
And that's a big play for her. And now she's kind of on a upward swing of consistency with her starts, that 3rd start in the form cycle here after the barn switch. And I think this is a filly that she can sit a nice maybe stalking trip. I mean, who's going to go in this spot? Because
that's the other question. Good point.
There's no speed in this race anymore now with AJ's Memory out, and that's probably. Did you have AJ's Memory on top?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was the horse that looked like was just going to take him on the front end, and this is. I don't want to say the only horse that has some figures that play with this race, but kind of is looking like it.
It's a good point you bring up because now you look through this body of the field and there is absolutely no speed whatsoever.
No.
So it'll be interesting to see who does go. We've got a 10-pound apprentice making his debut on the 6th, so get a weight allowance there. Maybe he takes it. Sophia Loren definitely in the mix for Jose Pinchin. Jose Pinchin in there with Sophia Loren. I've got the 5 Sharp Pippa, again, scratching into her. You know, she makes sense. Hey, Jose had 2 of them in here,
Yeah,
and she's the one he's running. I don't know.
Yeah, I might have singled the wrong one here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, food for thought. I don't know what the deal is with AJ's memory. Maybe there's a better spot for her. Maybe he doesn't want to run her for 12.5. But he had 2 in here. He's going to leave Sharp Pippa in.
It's a good sign. And blinkers go on.
Yeah.
Maybe that will get a little more speed out of her.
Well, for sure. Maybe, you know, we get a little weight allowance with her as well.
Yeah.
I played Exagidora last time. She's a player in here with the scratch. I didn't think she did a lot of running.
She didn't, but now that you look at the body of the race that
Yep.
remains, this is one that you kind of have to circle back to now.
You have to, and if nothing else, she seems to be improving a little bit with her figures.
Yeah.
3rd start off a long layoff, 3rd start on Tapeta. Maybe it's going. Angel Morales has done a very, very good job. For him to be at 13%, he's not riding, you know, first call for
Exactly.
Taffy and
Yeah.
Bobby D and whoever you want to say. That's a good number for him to be at
Huge.
13%. So we like him. That's it. 8 for you, but we've got the lightning round, of course, before we leave you. It's a fun one to start and then kind of a bittersweet one as well. But as we always do, we'll take a look at the standings here. And Lionel, keep it on. But let's see the gap. I was away, so he's pushed it out a little bit, back to 17.
Yeah, he has. And the podium, we like to say every
Yeah.
week, it's so close, and these guys are riding their tails off right now.
Yeah, without a doubt, Amicio and Edwin Gonzalez. Edwin Gonzalez, you know, he's been back for a while now when he went out to California, but he has been in really, really good form. And,
Yep.
you know, Edgar Zayas is bouncing around a little bit, so I guess he's probably not going to crack this leaderboard with Spot. You know, he goes to Saratoga for stakes races and things like that. But, you know, Lionel has just set a prolific pace, and he's not backing down. Now, the trainer standings, we'll take a look at it here as well, because, all right, Safi's out to 5. That's a little bit more extended than it has been.
It has, and it's going to be interesting to see as we're now getting into the thick of Saratoga
Right.
if that will shift at all.
It's a good point as well. And Jose won a race at Saratoga yesterday.
Yep.
And, you know, the Victor and Rohan in the 1993 version of Bobby DeBona down there is threatening the podium as well. And, boy, Bobby's just winning at such a high percentage.
is.
So take that there. And your best bet today?
Believe it's Reminder in the
Oh,
second.
all right. Well, that's a good one because that's
Yeah.
a first-time starter in there. Maybe not, we think could be favored, but maybe not. Regardless, that's a good angle to have. And
Yeah.
you've done well with those best bet first-time starters. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No low-hanging fruit for you either.
Hey, good.
Straight shot for me in race 5. You're gonna bust me on Sunday because I did take a 7-5 best bet, but we'll get to that later. Straight shot's 3-1 should be a okay price in
Yeah.
there, and we are dueling long shots today in the very next race, race 6. You with
Who did I go with? Oh,
Mighty
Mighty
Miracle.
Miracle. Yep. I think this horse will be nice on the Tapeta today. We'll find out.
15, and I'm a peg higher at Chrome Ghost at 20, I think.
Nice.
And, you know, both of those horses are going to be, this isn't one of those spots where, no, you know, we're going to be 7-1 in there. These are
They're-
legitimate
Exactly.
long shots. So sad news as well. If you saw it the other day, trainer, longtime South Florida trainer, and Larry Bates passed away just the other day. He was well-liked and well-respected by a lot of people down here.
Yeah, and I went back and actually watched his last win back in April, Poema.
Poema. And Larry, to his credit,
Yeah.
she lost form a little bit, and he got her back going
Yeah.
again, and she's very, very fast. So condolences to his family and all his friends, because he was one of the good ones down here.
Yeah, it's sad, but somebody else needed him more than we did, and
Yeah.
his legacy will continue to live on here at Gulfstream
To
Park.
be sure. And then tomorrow is Taste at the Track Day here.
Yeah.
Big Saturday, not only here, but some of our buddies are at Saratoga. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Dean Delivers in the Grade 1 Vanderbilt. I can't wait to see him take on the big boys. He deserves it up there. But come on down tomorrow. Taste at the Track, the Burgers and Brews here. Check out the website to get involved in that. Silks has been cranking with Saratoga, and
Yeah.
here is at Gulfstream as well. Carousel, too.
Yeah, it has. And on the website last night, I was looking at this Burgers and Brews, and it was 20% off.
Okay.
So I don't know if it is today, but if it is, get a part of it.
Two of my favorites right there.
20% off?
Well, I was thinking Burgers and Brews.
Oh,
but
yeah.
20% off is that as well. So
That's good stuff, yeah.
All right, good to be back. That's it for us. We'll be here for the opener in about 26 minutes. We are happy to have you aboard. Don't forget, $250 in the Rainbow, race number 3. Pete's upstairs with a very minimal scratches and changes. We'll see you in a bit.